What are the best ways to use the crafting stations to make as much money as possible in Fae Farm? If you find yourself struggling to make money, I have you covered. Let's get into it. Hi gamers, it's your host Stormy, and we are officially 1 day away from the launch of Fae Farm, and I'm going to give you some solid advice on how to make money in this game. I'm going to give you the breakdown, but there are some things that you'll need to do to get here, but I promise you that unlocking these stations really don't take a ton of time. You can always catch fish and sell them or sell your critters, and you'll likely be doing this for the first few days at least, but I'm going to explain to you how you can turn a profit most efficiently, especially when you start using your crafting stations. Okay, so first things first, we're going to talk about some of the things that you can make off of the island, and then we will move into how to use the crafting stations to make money. First is going to be cooking your food. This is the most obvious one, but I figured it's worth mentioning. All food is generally worth cooking, even if it only makes a slight difference. The berries around the island will be one of those things. A fresh berry will sell for 3 florin, and toasted berries will sell for 7. A piece of dry arugula or red chard, depending on the season, will go for 4 florin, but if you grill it, it'll go for 9. Another example will be sand dollars. So sand dollars by themselves will sell for 5, but if you cook them, they go for 10. These seem like small differences, but they do add up. Say I wanted to sell an entire table of berries not cooked. I am going to go home with 24 florin. Whereas if I take those berries and sell a full table of them cooked, I am going home with 56. Then you can multiply that by 4 tables. It definitely adds up. Plus, all of these things like berries, chard, arugula, sand dollars are all found around the island, so it doesn't cost you any money to collect them, which means it's pure profit. If you have a beverage station, you can also do this with tea leaves. Tea leaves on their own are around 3 florin, whereas a cooked green tea is going to be worth 12. The same can go for eggs and cotton. You will get eggs from raising chickens and cotton from having cottontails. Raw eggs will sell for 12 each, whereas cooked eggs will sell for 20. Then you have raw cotton that sells for 10 and cotton fabric that sells for 55. So honestly, as far as investment goes, it's more profitable to have cottontails than it is to have chicken. But you also need a loom in order to make cotton fabric, which is going to take a little bit longer for you to unlock, so that is something to consider. You should double check this strategy for fish because some fish are actually worth more uncooked. Now we are going to talk about the different crafting stations and why it's important to unlock them as quickly as possible. I do understand that these things take some grinding to get, but as I said before, the grinding really doesn't take too much time, so it will be up to you as far as how quickly you want to get these stations, but they will make you a substantial amount of money. Number 1 is going to be the garden bench. The garden bench allows you to craft your own seeds and fertilizer. This is a huge money saver. If you buy your seeds and fertilizer from Holly, seeds will cost you anywhere from 5 to 20 florin per seed. For Bounteous and Zippy fertilizer, it's costing you 35 florin and 50 for Magic Crop Swap fertilizer, which is insanely expensive when you could just make it yourself. Once you have the garden bench, you can craft your own seeds using the produce that you have grown. One piece of produce will typically give you about 3 seeds depending on the type of produce that it is, like the difference between a cabbage, a beet, and a pumpkin can sometimes vary. So you can see I'm taking 5 pieces of cabbage and I'm making 15 seeds out of them. So you're tripling the amount of produce that you're getting without spending any money at all. You can also make the special fertilizers in sets of 10, so you'll need things like mulch, frog sweat, and amylite to make 10 bags of fertilizer. You can use this fertilizer on your crops, or you can sell it for profit for 35 to 50 florin per bag. That is a massive come up without having to spend any money. The second crafting station that you need as soon as possible is going to be the Lowlands Critter Conservatory. This helps you so much. The conservatory allows you to shelter your critters, and in exchange, they drop you materials like frog sweat, bug juice, flutter dust, and shell bits. So instead of selling a frog for 10, you can trade him for a frog sweat, and frog sweat will sell for 24. You also need things like frog sweat to make bulk amounts of special fertilizer, so you can get higher level crops to sell, or you can sell the specialized fertilizer, again, without costing you any money at all. The last one is going to probably take you the longest to get because it does require you to have citrine, peridot, and iron. But once you get deep into the first dungeon, you will realize there are tons and tons and tons of these crystals and stones everywhere. Once you have the three, you're going to want to get a gem polisher. This is going to take all of your extra crystals and turn them into gemstones. I promise you the crystals are plentiful. This is just an example of what I got turning one trip down in the mines. You can see I was able to collect 100 peridot, 100 citrine, and 37 aquamarine. A little tip if you didn't realize is once you start sealing the entrances on the mines, it does tell you which floors have the most of whatever resource you need. Like you can tap in between each of these floors and see that one area may be high on a certain crystal and low on another one. That way you don't have to waste your time running around as much. It takes 10 of a crystal to make a polished gem. This is going to be the biggest financial come up. We're going to use peridot as an example. A raw piece of peridot will sell for 15 florin. A polished peridot gemstone goes for 188, and you can see it's the same for citrine and aquamarine. So if you really need to make some money, take a day or two going through the mines and just grind out crystals, and you are going to have a massive financial come up once again without spending any money. Those are going to be some of the best ways to make money using your base level crafting stations in Fae Farm. Let me know in the comments down below if any of these tips helped you make some money, and I would also love if you could let me know if there's anything else that you might need some tips and tricks on in this game. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed your time here. It makes a huge difference for the channel, and I really do appreciate it. I will see you all next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.